What's up, guys? Evander here, back with another video. Today I'm going to be going through the CarPlay screen for the Model Y Juniper. Very simple installation. If you are coming to Tesla's from a vehicle that had CarPlay and you're missing it, this is a great option for you. Or if you just want to add in a little bit more information to a heads-up display, great choice. I'll be going through the full installation a little differently today. But if you're interested in this one, link is always in the description below. And RedKnave20 is going to save you guys 20% at least off of this or anything else from Teststudio's website. Thanks, guys, for sending this one over for review. Let's get into it. This is what it looks like when you enter the Juniper. There is a startup animation. Very cool. And there's your home screen. I'll quickly go through some of these settings. First of all, yeah, you've got your miles per hour on the left, your speed limit sign. It does show your battery. Oop, moved over here because the CarPlay started. Your mileage and your trip mileage. I'm a little jealous. I don't have quite a few of these on Cybertruck. In the main settings, you can swipe down. Oh, before we go to main settings, you can preheat the battery. This button goes to CarPlay. You can basically turn this into a clock by tapping on time. I don't know what SWC stands for. You can unlock the front passenger, rear driver, and rear passenger seats. I don't believe these buttons, nope, they don't do anything. So purely visual. As for the settings, the light is smart enough to dim itself, which is kind of nice. So if you want to do manual brightness, you can. Otherwise, it can use a sensor to determine the brightness, which is great. And volume, of course, is down here. Settings themselves, we can connect to a Wi-Fi hotspot. What's nice is you can type with a keyboard. Again, on earlier versions I've seen, you had to set your phone or your hotspot to a very specific name and password. You don't got to do that anymore. So if you want to do a software update, make sure you connect your phone's Bluetooth hotspot. Here in general, basic configuration, Fahrenheit for temperature, 12 or 24 hours. Set your time zone. Your PSI is probably the best for your atmospheres. You can choose whether the speaker is the device itself or the Bluetooth, which is your phone. Speed limit sign, I don't know what the difference is, but set yours to America, and English for language. For the model, obviously for Juniper, choose Model Y Juniper, and you have 5 different colors. If you don't have any of these 5 colors, too bad, you have to choose one of them. So luckily the owner has a red. I guess they're just going off of what's the most common colors. But it would have been nice if they had a color wheel picker so you could choose a custom color perhaps. Drive mode for USA is on the left. For the display, there's 3 different kind of themes. They're all fairly similar. You can choose light mode, dark mode, or automatic. Rainbow Road can basically mimic and show a rainbow road on the screen while you're driving. Front cam does not work because we didn't hook that up. The Juniper already has a front camera. And you can choose full screen or half screen. If you do half screen, you'll see some speedometer information on the right. I'll show that in a second. And when you connect the hotspot in WLAN, you'll see an OTA. That's the button you'll tap to pull the latest software from their server. You can keep doing that infinitely. So once you run it, maybe just check later and see if the version incremented up or not. But I don't think they're doing too many software updates for this one nowadays. And here on the main screen, you see your PSI. This updates shortly after you start driving. This will start to populate 1 tire at a time. But usually within the first couple minutes, all 4 tires have that information pulled. Oh, and it goes red. Even if your PSI is like 1.01 over, it will be red and you'll see a tire pressure warning sign. At least that is how it is on my Cybertruck. Some basic mileage information. I don't know why they still include this. I gave them the same feedback on Cybertruck that this is cut off. and this information is always the same. It doesn't really change, so they should just remove that. You have the choice for CarPlay, Android Auto, Android Auto, and I think that's it, despite there being 3 more dots on the bottom. You also can go through these choices with the right thumb scroll wheel. But yeah, it looks like they've got a few options that don't exist in the settings. So maybe I'll give them that feedback. Maybe they can remove those 3 dots that don't have anywhere to go. Alrighty, and then to return to CarPlay, swipe down, push the little play button, and then here we go. Here's the half screen. If we did full screen, this would just stretch that out, and it's the same information, just stretched. So I feel like half screen is kind of the way to go, unless you don't care about that at all. As for the installation process, I already filmed this, and I lost my footage. So I have to kind of go through this a little bit differently. I'm going to show you the essentials. It was not that difficult. Basically, we peel back some trim, then we peel back the dashboard, we plug a few things in, and it's done. Nothing crazy and fancy like we have to for Cybertruck. Much more simple here on the Model Y Juniper. So I'm going to kind of just dabble and show you the 2 specific areas that are most important, which is under the dashboard and behind the passenger side trim. So I'm going to show you that right now. Starting with the dashboard, he's got some fake carbon fiber overlays. I'm just going to set those aside. So to get underneath this thing, it definitely was tricky the first time. So now that I know how to do it, this is kind of nice for you guys. The pry tool they gave me, it was fine, but you're going to need a little bit more than that. I recommend you start prying on both of these sides here. And don't use your fingers. You're going to hurt your fingers. Again, another plus of me having done this already and then losing all that footage was I can come prepared this time. So I bought these air wedge shims, and I'm going to give them a shot because I've been thinking about getting some of these for the Cybertruck. Every now and then I need a shim. So I'm going to try and see if that helps to get this dashboard up and off. Again, this is going to be kind of weird because the installation's done, and I'm basically doing everything in reverse order. Wow. I mean, that was nice. Let's see if I can move this shim down. And then I'm going to kind of do the same thing on the other side and just start working my way towards the middle. All right, here we're on the passenger side. So start with some pry tools if you have them. But I quite liked this air shim. And there is just a boatload of snaps behind this. There we go. Shove this in there. I snapped one. Dang. Be careful. I wish they provided more of these metal snaps because they can break. And then eventually you get to the point where the middle just surrenders and pops up. There we go. So that's what that looks like. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like a boatload of snaps. One big long kind of dowel-like shape in the middle. So with that out of the way, then we need to remove the side passenger trim. To get into the side trim, you want to start pulling down this weather stripping from the edges. and remove that almost entirely. I need to move the seat back, and we'll take the mat out. Then get whatever prying tool you've got. We've got to pry off this bit of the trim. Let's get kind of behind it there. And just pry out that way. There we go. There's a little bit of trim in here, and we need to get this guy out of here. To do so, we got to kind of pry up from underneath it. I'm going to get a better tool. This one's a little too large. All right, we're going with this one. We just need to get behind this little circle, pull that out just like that. That releases that pin. You can just pull that out with your fingers. Once that pin is out, you can start to pull this part of the trim out. It goes all along the bottom of the door. Gently keep tugging. It'll start to release. Oh, got this Velcro from his kick plates I've installed that's holding on, and just slips right out. So these just go straight into some kind of cracks there in the trim. Very, very simple to remove this. Set that aside. So all we had to do was take our cabling, and you're going to plug it into this little port here. There was nothing in this port from the factory. I don't know why, but it's just open and ready to be plugged into. So you'll plug the cable. It says AMD CAN plug 2+1 into that port. The other one gets plugged into this Tesla port right here. This cable with the yellow and purple and black and green, that's the other end of the Tesla port. That is what was originally connected into this port. So we're basically just daisy chaining our way into that power supply, and then we're letting loose 1, 2, and 3. These 3 bits are not used in the Juniper. Everything else gets plugged in, very simple, and then we can just tuck this stuff somewhere, stash it away. Now you just have to worry about wiring up the dashboard. After you plug this part in, that's the easy part. Then we have to wire up the dashboard. So this is the very long cable that goes over to the CarPlay display. We've got to get it from this passenger side up and into this trim and into the dashboard. To do that, they provide you with a very long plastic fishing tool. Don't know where it is, but I just got that, pushed it into this trim right about in this big area, and just keep pushing down, and then start watching from over here until you see it pop out. Then you're going to grab that, pull it out, tape up the cabling, and pull it through. Once you pull it through here, you're basically halfway there. Then you need to push the fishing tool through this part of the trim, and we need to get it all the way over there. I made a halfway stop right here in the middle, pulled it out, got all the slack pulled up into the middle, and then pushed it through here again, and I'm just basically hopping from one to the other. I was able to skip pulling it out of here, and I managed to just get it to show up and pull it right through from the middle to the dashboard of the driver's side area. And once you do that, you're golden, you're done. So you just got to pull. These 3 cables connect to those pieces, and you're going to leave the yellow one alone. This is for a front camera. The Juniper already has a front camera, so we don't need to plug anything into that. That would be redundant. So we're just going to stash these 3 cables into the trim and just push them in there so they're hidden and not visible. And then this CarPlay display is just going to mount right there on the dashboard. It's got a little bit of a hook, and it doesn't interfere very much with the air conditioning because it's got these slots. This is just like my Cybertruck ones on the first generation. So the basically has a pass through. You can see these 4 holes down here that passes the ventilation air through the slits. You can't control the direction. It just blows it straight in front. But maybe in generation 2 they'll add a little slider like they did for Cybertruck. All right, so that explains the whole installation. Fairly simple. It's just routing cables and plugging them in. I hope that makes sense on how to install this. I'm so sorry I lost the footage. I wasted like a whole hour and a half filming and getting great footage and then lost it all later. Anyways, so now I'm going to put all of the trim back, just same thing in reverse. But let me at least get you some nice good footage. I'm going to have the owner maybe take us on a drive. And I'll film the CarPlay display so you can see what it's like in action. All right, I'll be doing the voiceover for this last bit. And here we go right out the gate. On the left-hand side, there's that yellow bar for the blind spot indicator. Super jealous that does not exist on Cybertruck's CarPlay screen, as well as that rainbow road. When you're in FSD, it mimics your settings and will show the rainbow. He just got out of FSD, so it's gone. And of course, the left-hand turn signal perfectly mimics whatever the car is doing. Back into FSD. You can see the battery over there, the mileage, and the nag even shows up. I slowed it down here so you can see it even shows the steering wheel nag. So very, very cool. It shows a lot more information for sure than Cybertruck does for CarPlay. But yeah, this is a great product for Juniper. They did a great job showing all this information. If you're interested, as always, link in the description below. And don't forget, RedNave20 is going to save you at least 20%, often more, especially during any sales promotional periods as well. Well, that does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope the instructions are good enough. I will see you guys soon in the next video. Take care.